So let's talk about the first big match. You know, it's one thing to have a big moment on a house show or have some vignettes on TV or even have a fun angle to close Monday Night Raw, but it is another to be on pay per view against The Undertaker and get the win. The Undertaker lost very rarely in this era, hell, ever, really. And now Mankind's first outing is not just a win, but with his finish, the Mandible Claw. And they got plenty of time 18 minutes and 21 seconds. Meltzer really dug the match too. He gave it 3.25 stars. He said The Undertaker was more aggressive than usual. It was a wild and stiff match. Maybe it was a little long, but boy, what a special moment it was. I mean, nobody really expected this. Paul Bearer
I expected it.
turns on The Undertaker. Fans were shocked by the finish. What do you remember of this special moment in all three men's careers, really?
Well, what do you expect from a man who sets his place of work on fire while he's diddling the owner's wife and setting up the oldest son of the owner and stealing his youngest son? Paul Bearer is a man that cannot be trusted. Now, a handsome man, obviously a ladies' man that women just couldn't keep their hands off of. But of course, if you're Undertaker and Paul Bearer sees a prettier new shiny object, he's going to go there because he saw Mankind as a younger, pliable version of the Undertaker. And by pliable, I mean someone that he can take and mold into something that is benefiting Paul Bearer. It's pretty gross when you think about it.
Who do you think, or how was that idea first presented? Who deserves credit for the idea of let's have Paul Bearer turn? And then what were people thinking? I mean, was Paul comfortable with it? Was The Undertaker comfortable with it?
I think the idea, well, it was a collaborative effort, but it was the idea being that Undertaker needed to kind of, as a babyface, be out on his own. And having a manager, and especially a manager like Paul Bearer, was holding him back as a babyface. If you have Paul Bearer turn his back on Undertaker, it gives instant credibility to whoever it is that he's going with. Hence, Mankind. And that was, absolutely, it was just timing. It was the right time.
It was a special moment, man, and we're off to the races. I mean, we've made a guy now. I mean, he's just stepped right into the Undertaker's lore, and they're going to have some fun rematches all across the house show loops, lots of television segments, but maybe the most memorable rematch of this period before we get to some maybe silliness is SummerSlam, because we do a match that I guess in theory is on Mick Foley's home turf. One of the big concepts behind this Mankind character is he's always in the boiler room. So we're going to have a boiler room brawl at SummerSlam 96. And we've talked a little bit about this match before. I know it was a challenge for the live audience. I think it was perhaps filmed the night before. And there's some stuff in there that still holds up. I mean, this is really one of the first times we saw a match like this in the WWE. What'd you think of it at the time? And do you think it holds up all these years later?
I thought it was great at the time. I thought it was very different. It was unique. It was a different presentation that people could, get inside. And it was a gimmick match in a gimmick environment. But you could also give them the finish. You could also go out and be able to give them the finish in the arena. So I thought it was a hell of a match. They busted their butts in there, and I thought it paid off in the end, because while you're in the arena and you're having to watch this match on a screen for the majority of it, you still got the finish out in front of the people. So that was something that was special in and of itself as well.
So as a reminder, Mankind is going to beat the Undertaker and turn on him, or have Paul Bearer turn on him in June. In August, we get the Boiler Room Brawl. In September, Mick Foley continues to impress. They peg Mankind to be the opponent for the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Shawn had become the world champ earlier in the year, beating Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12. And now we're looking for, well, a heel factory of sorts for opponents for him. And we've got one. And the result is a fantastic match. One of my all-time favorites, one of Mick's all-time favorites. He holds it in very high regard. In Your House Mind Games. And they say over in the UFC that styles make fights. What do you think of this presentation of the Heartbreak Kid and Mankind at In Your House Mind Games?
I think it was one of the best matches Shawn Michaels has ever had. And probably at the time, without a doubt, one of the best matches that Mick Foley had ever had in his entire career. This was this was unexpected. This was something that people look at and they see Mankind and Shawn Michaels, and it's the Beauty and the Beast. You are a little bit afraid if Shawn Michaels is your favorite and that's your hero, that he's in danger here. He's in danger here because this guy beat The Undertaker, and this guy is unorthodox as hell. So there were a lot of things in this match that people had never seen before, and it was done. There was even the spot that was put in where, for shits and giggles, that, I'm embarrassed to say that we even put the spot in, but it was, people were so in an uproar. When I say people, the people that read the dirt sheets, that Shawn Michaels would cuss Vader. Oh my God, because Vader screwed up a spot. So we put in a screwed up spot, but it was not screwed up because it was planned and it was absolutely perfect. But it had Shawn kind of go off on Mankind and have a moment in there that was for this very small audience, which is why I'm not crazy about it, because it's catering to the smallest denominator of audiences of people that read the dirt sheets and live and breathe by that stuff. But this match was believable, and it was exciting. It was just so great that they were able to go out and have that crowd. Philadelphia, very difficult crowd, man, because if you don't give them what they want, they're going to let you know. And I thought that it was just one of the best, goes down as one of the best matches of all time too.